What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters and welcome to No Less Metal. It's time for a big edition of The Mail. That's right, time for The Mail. And this is a big old box. I don't have any idea what's in this box. From my buddy Greg the Egg. Blackmore Rules on YouTube. Man, I'm going to say it's probably been 5 or 6 years now that I've been friends with him. And he just sends the most amazing packages. I mean, they're like, dude, I'm sending you a CD. And then it ends up being like, 6 CDs and a record and a DVD. And there's usually some Donnie and Marie in there. And other funny stuff. So he has Greg's channel is definitely amusing. You're not going to be bored watching his channel, I'll tell you that right now. But we also have a mutual love of hockey. And we share a team in the Flyers. I like the Flyers and the Kings. He likes the Canucks and the Flyers. So we have that kind of connection going on there. So what we got here is this big box I just opened up with my handy knife. And see what's in here. So this thing is all packed nice and tight with a WHL hockey jersey. And I don't know where he finds all these hockey jerseys from. Hockey jerseys in the United States do not show up in discount stores and stuff like that. They're always overpriced. If you find used ones, it's usually in sporting goods stores, and they're still $100 for them. So I don't know where he gets them from, but either way, very cool. There is another one in here. That's, let's see, maybe, yeah, there's another one. It's just I didn't want to drop anything. So okay, this is my wife's team. I freaking hate this team. They are. Loathe is the right word for it, but the Pittsburgh Penguins jersey. Again, like I said, my wife's team. My wife will root for the Flyers and the Kings too. She likes to watch hockey in general, which is kind of cool. One of the things we have in common. So watching the Kings games and the Flyers games, and going to the Kings and Flyers games, we enjoy doing that together. But she's also a Penguins fan. God, I hate the Penguins, man. I went to a Penguins game with her once, and I wore my Flyers jersey. So, sorry, I ain't sporting. I don't care. I'm not sporting a Crosby jersey by any stretch of the imagination. All right, there's a couple posters rolled up in here. The Mail beat this thing up the best they could. Black Sabbath with Alice Cooper in Black Oak, Arkansas. I'm gonna see if I can flatten it out a little bit, because like I said, it was rolled all nicely, but of course, they smashed this thing as much as they could. Oh, this is neat. Legacy of the Beast tour poster for Iron Maiden, which is the tour that just happened just before all the whole COVID-19 stuff happened. Another shirt in here. Like I said, got a sense of humor, so chicks dig me. Snoopy. See what size this one is. This is a large. So I dig the peanuts. A couple of 8-tracks in here, man. I don't know where it runs across these 8-tracks at, but oh wow. So we got trying to see where this is pressed at. Canadian pressing, it looks like, of Kiss Dressed to Kill. And then Nazareth, Play the Game. I don't have a lot of 8-tracks. I have a handful of them. I don't know if you can see them. There's one right there. Not just out of the camera angle. But there's Aerosmith Rocks. I have a sealed copy that's never been opened of Survival of the Fittest by Ted Nugent. But I have a few just because they're cool little collector's items, and I dig those bands. So those are really cool. Alright, and then there is some CDs in here. So, Golden Earring, Bloody Buccaneers. I like Golden Earring. I've never heard this album. I have no clue what this album sounds like. Can you make that type any smaller? 1991. This release is. So, Bloody Buccaneers, Golden Earring, 1991. Again, I have no clue what this one sounds like. So obviously I know the band. They're a classic rock band. They've been around forever, but just don't know that release whatsoever. By the way, if you can hear in the background, I'm spinning the brand new Saint called the Calf. This is one of my favorite guitar players of all time, Canadian rocker Frank Marino. This is his live album called Double Live, which is funny because it doesn't make sense on the. It's a double live album, but it's only a single on the CD. But anyhow, Double Live, Frank Marino. Oh, these are awesome. All right, one I just didn't have, Iron Maiden, Death on the Road, and I'm pretty sure Greg showed this one in a video, and I mentioned that I didn't have this one, and he obviously passed it on to me. Iron Maiden seems to put out 2 live albums for every studio album, so there's just so many of them, and I didn't have this one, so very cool to have it. Double album, it looks like. Yeah, it's a double 2 CD set. So what do we got on here? Wildest Dreams, Wrathchild, Can I Play With Madness, A Trooper, Dance of Death, Rainmaker, Brave New World, Lord of the Flies, No More Lies, Hallowed Be Thy Name, Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden, Journeyman, The Man of Number of the Beast, and Run to the Hill. So pretty much a greatest hits live collection right there. I've seen Maiden several times. I've seen them do tours where they played nothing but old school songs and all the hits. You know, all those, I don't call them hits, they never really were a radio band, but you know, all the big songs from the 80s. And I've seen them on tours where they barely played any of that stuff and they played mostly new stuff. I enjoyed them both. They were always great. So, and this last one is cool. This is a bootleg. This is Metal Gods, Judas Priest, and I didn't have this one. And I know he showed this one in a video. So I'm very glad he sent this one my way. I really dig live Priest. Hellbent for Leather, Grinder, The Helion, All Guns Blazing, The Sentinel, Metal Gods, Nightcrawler, The Ripper, Beyond the Realms of Death, Running Wild, Drum Soul, A Touch of Evil, Victim of Changes, Painkiller, and Break the Wall. So obviously a bootleg from the Painkiller tour. There's the disc itself. Very happy to have that one. Oh, this is cool. Martin Popoff's Swords and Tequila, Riot's classic first decade. So awesome. I love Riot, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Of course, this band had all kinds of ups and downs. Fairly early American heavy metal band, you know, playing heavy metal back in the 70s, late 70s, when it was really, you know, unpopular at the time, especially here. But they played a lot of huge festivals back then, especially in Europe, with a lot of the big bands, you know, Priest and Maiden and Motorhead and whatnot. I remember seeing their name over and over and over again in the metal magazines back in the day, you know, 79, 80, 81, 82. But yeah, you know, they've had multiple singers, they've had deaths in the band, they've had bad management, they've had so many issues. They were on big labels, they were on small labels, they just had so much going on for them, you know, like I said, a lot of ups and downs, so that should be a very cool read. This is a photo of, this is a Ducks photo. Anaheim Ducks. And he sends me a lot of Duck stuff, probably because he knows that I dislike them almost as much as I dislike the Penguins. Being that I'm a Kings fan, they are the arch rivals of the Kings, both being from the Southern California area. But this is still cool. My very, very good friend Bill Bafford, who is actually the owner of Rawk Records, he actually, he's a huge Ducks fan, and he goes to Ducks games every year and whatnot because he lives in that area. And some of the Duck stuff that Greg has given me have been passed on to my buddy Greg, my buddy Bill, excuse me, so I appreciate that. A couple magazines in here. Raygun, Rock and Roll Forever, or Rock and Roll Over. Where's this one from? I'm looking for a date. And I'm looking, I'm not showing you guys. October 1998, so this would have been during the middle of Kiss' big comeback tour with the original lineup. So that's really cool. I don't know this magazine whatsoever. Looks very contemporary 90s, aimed towards that generation. But regardless, Kiss on the cover is never a bad thing for me. I was trying to see if I could find the Kiss article, but I'm not And this is a very trendy looking magazine. Not your typical hard rock, heavy metal, you know, magazine. Ah, here we go, Kiss. So again, they don't even put the pictures of the band. They actually, there's a picture of boots, a picture of lips. So, trendy magazine, but should be a cool read nonetheless. There's a full picture of the band. Looks like there might be a... Yeah, looks like there's a giant poster in here. I'm not going to pull it out because I don't want to mess it up, but there's a big fist. Looks like probably Ace Frehley's fist because he's wearing the... yeah, he's got the Ace ring on. That's it for the photos there. Very cool. Looking forward to checking that out. Again, Kiss. I collect anything by Kiss. So, and this next one is Musician Magazine. I don't know this magazine. International Musician and Recording World. But there's an article on a couple bands I love in here. Joe Perry and Aerosmith, of course, and also Robert Trower, another great guitar player. One of my favorites from the 70s. And then let's see. Whoa. I just got excited about one I saw. I probably shouldn't have. But it was hidden at the bottom. This is a couple of records. This is Randy Hansen. Randy is a kind of a blues-based guitar player. Great stuff. This is probably 70s, right? This had to be, I think this is his first solo album. So let's see if there's a year on here somewhere. Do not see a year. See if there's one on the censor label. It's on the purple capital label, so this is probably a 1980. So this is actually 1980. So, but still, very much in the 70s, you know, blues-based Guitar Hero kind of stuff, and great album. It's a great album, very good album from him. And under that was Aerosmith Ragdoll. This is a 12-inch single, which I do collect 12-inch singles, and I probably have, I'm going to say 4 or 5 Ragdoll singles. But this particular one here, printed and distributed, let's see here. I have a feeling yep, this is a Canadian pressing, which I do not have, so I do now. So Canadian pressing of the Ragdoll, the 12-inch single. There's several different ones with different songs. A lot of, some of them have just different mixes of Ragdoll. Some of them have like totally, you know, non-album tracks on them. This particular one has St. John, which is an album track from Permanent Vacation. It's got the Rockapella mix and the Extended Vacation mix and the rock mix of Ragdoll. So there you go. Greg is actually an Aerosmith fan. He's just not a fan of that era. He sticks to the 70s. This is awesome. This is just, dude, you could have just sent me this and I would have been over the moon. And of course I'm talking about the Donny Osmond album. I told you there's always an Osmond thing in his package. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's this. This is the Kill by Death shaped picture disc. Are you kidding me? This thing is so awesome. You never see this thing anywhere. This is fantastic. So anyhow, I'm gonna take it out of the plastic sleeve. You can tell this thing's got some age to it. My guess is it was probably hanging on someone's wall or in like a record store or something like that. Because that yellowness you see to it, that's actually just like the sun turning the paper yellow. Because basically all picture this gives is it's got paper pressed between the wax. So yeah, you can kind of see even the wax on the end. You can kind of see the yellowing of it. But I don't care. This is a classic, old school shaped picture disc. What was this? 1980. 80. No, it couldn't be 80. Had to be 82, 83. 84. Has to be 1983, 84, somewhere in that area. So, because this was after Robbo left the band, and they've got they've got the crucifixion of Wurzel here. So, and then you got Lemmy as the Roman soldier torturing him, and then you've got a couple other members on you. So you got Phil Campbell down on the ground, and then Saxon's drummer, whose name is going to escape me at the moment, laying down there as well. He was only with them for the one album. So there you go, Motorhead, Killed by Death. That's awesome. So there you go. That's my Greg the Egg package. and that's amazing. that Motorhead disc alone just blew me away. So anyhow, I'll put a link to Greg's channel below. If you don't know Greg, check Greg's channel out. You will be amused, I promise. He shows a lot of music, but there's a lot of funny stuff on there too. Just and he really loves and respects the people in the vinyl community, and you'll hear him mention many different people in his videos too. So that's it. Thanks for watching. God bless. Stay strong.